Before I get started, she told you my name is Gary Varnell, but I just want to thank Karen for inviting me here today. And for those of you, I don't know if you all work with her, but if you do, you know that she's a person of high integrity, she has high character, she cares about you and your clients. So the great thing is you find someone who's great at what they do, and that's who you work with. And when I started in the mortgage business, she was right across the hall. Guess where I went to ask all the questions? Because I was new in the industry at the time, and she was very helpful to me to help me get started and get things going. So for those of you who work with her, great person to work with. So just for that start. A little bit about me. She said I worked with her at Great Southwest, but just a little history. I was 20 years in the corporate America, and 18 of those 20 years I trained salespeople on how to become more successful at what they did. So sales are the same, whether it's real estate or it's consumer products, there's a process to it. So I was someone who actually went out and trained people to do that. For 5 years I ran a company as a C-level executive, so I was promoted to that from the successes I had had. Then I went to the mortgage industry where I met Karen, which, as you know, how many of you been in the, how long have you been in real estate? Anyone for 5 years or more? Anyone in your first, anyone just getting started? So you've been around a while. How many of you remember 2008?
Just we don't want to remember.
Yes, in the mortgage industry, I started in 01, which was really good because it was really cranking, as you know. And in 2008, I was doing jumbo loans and investment construction loans, and the government eliminated those programs, so I lost my total income. So I had 4 kids in college at the time, so a little rough on us. Half our income, my beautiful wife still had a job, but we lost half our family income because of that. So I know your struggles. I know what happened during that time. In fact, I'm also a real estate agent. I have a real estate license. I don't practice as you do, but I have that in case I want to buy and sell properties. So I actually know the test you took. A little hard, right? I couldn't believe how it was hard. Oh my gosh, I thought it was hard. You thought it was simple?
That was
I did it 30 years ago.
Okay. That doesn't count.
I'm sorry. That's when the contracts are 1 page.
When I took it, I did pass it the first time, but oh my gosh, it was such a hard test. So very impressed with all of you, but you passed that test. What I'm going to talk about today is about belief and success. So I mentioned success is a process, and the principles are the same no matter what you're selling. But what I believe, I read a lot of books on the subject, and I've experienced, obviously by training people, I've experienced it as well. But I know for a fact that if you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't believe in yourself, you won't have success. Because your mind will not create a plan to get there because you've already shut it off. So that's what we're going to talk about today is belief in yourself, self-confidence, and actually becoming the person you need to be to have success. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
How many of you want more success in your real estate business?
Amen.
It's a church service. I like that. Okay. So this is actually my philosophy in life. And I think it's important that you live by a certain philosophy. So it starts out by saying be grateful for what you have in life, but don't settle for it. When you're grateful, you have a different attitude and a different perspective in life. You actually look at things a little differently, a little more positively, as opposed to everything being a problem. So that's why that is important to me. Be happy with who you are, but don't be comfortable with it. You need to be happy with who you are, but always strive to be a better real estate agent, to be a better version of yourself. And if you do that, you attract more people to you. To me, that creates more success in life. That creates more opportunities, more people want to work with you. And then to have more in life and be more in life, you must believe more to become more, be able to do more, which means you'll have more. So the more you believe in yourself, the more you believe in your goal, the more you believe that you can and will accomplish it, the more success you're going to have. But it all starts in your head with belief. And every book I've ever read touches on this, but that's the success principles will not do much more than just have you average in your success if that's all you do. If you don't believe it, you won't progress to a higher level. This is what we're going to accomplish today. I'm going to help you figure out by the things I'm saying and the concepts I'm giving you to reach the level of success that you desire, to change your thinking, because if you change your thinking, it changes the world around you, and then help you see things more positively, and then have more belief in yourself. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're all quiet. Need coffee?
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So this is the question I want to answer, the first one. Have you ever thought about that? Why are some people successful while other people are not? To me, that's a weird question because in high school, a graduating class, in college, a graduating class, in real estate, a graduating class. You all had the same teachers, you all had the same classes, you all took the same tests. So why in 5 or 10 years are some people successful while other people aren't? That's a great mindset. It's a lot of things. It's the things I'm going to share with you today, but it's mainly your mindset. It's shifting how you think and what you think. I don't know if any of you are interested in being the top 3, 5, or 10%, but those are the things that I help people become, is top 3, 5% income earners, or in your business, that success level. And then how can you get there? That's what I want to help you with today, is help you get there, because we're going to talk about creating a plan for your success. How many of you have a plan? How many of you have it written with daily, weekly, annual, monthly, annual goals? The difference between average and the ultra successful is they have a written plan. They have it with daily activities, they have it with monthly activities, weekly activities, annual goals. They have that written down. In fact, it's like building a house. If you said contractor to build a house, here's the land, and you didn't give them a plan, it's not going to be a very nice house, right? It's no different than your plan. This actually never ceases to amaze me, is so many people will spend hours researching a TV to buy, golf clubs to buy, the vacation they're going to take, which is great. But you don't spend time thinking about your life and what you really want and the goals you want to achieve. You don't even take time out of your day to figure that out and write that down. That, to me, is crazy, because that's what it takes to have success. That's the only difference between really successful people and people who have average success, is they write it down and they follow that plan. And they work on the things that matter. These are the attributes that we're going to talk about that you need to either have or bring to the table. And it starts with the first one that I like to talk about, is that's belief. I've mentioned it, we've talked about it a little bit, but it's about belief in yourself, belief that you deserve the success, belief that you can and will have the success, and the belief in the vision or the goal that you have. With those 4 things in your mind, if you actually have those things set and you believe that, you will have whatever success level you want to have in life. Because here, I'll give you a simple example of the mind. I'm not an expert, I'm not a psychologist, but I've read so many books on it. Your subconscious and your conscious work together. You're going to have a thought, and this is what I want to do. I want to accomplish X. The subconscious throws out ideas. Have you ever had an epiphany? Oh my gosh, I should do that. And you write it down. Your subconscious, because you're thinking about that goal, is throwing out ideas for your plan. But if you don't believe that you can do it, the ideas are shut off. It says, oh, you can't do this, we're not going to worry about it, we're not going to work on it, we're not going to put any ideas out on the table. So that's what's very, very important. Vision, goal, and desire. You've all mentioned you have goals. Is it like monthly sales? You want to sell so many homes in a month? Is that how you do it? Anybody? Is that how you do it? Okay, so you want to sell so many houses a month, which would equate to how many houses a year, which actually equates to how many phone calls you need to make, or how many mailers you have to do, or how many, it's all a statistic. So if you want to do more, if you want more sales, you actually have to do a little more, right? If you do the same thing, and you expect different results, isn't that the idea of insanity? Right? So you have to do a little more to get a little more. And that's really how it works. How many of you think you have good work ethic? Well, some of you don't. So, come on, raise your hand. Okay. I'm going to talk about it differently. We all work hard, right? Would you agree with that statement? Are you working hard on the right things?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only question. Nothing else matters. There's a lot of busy work that needs to be done, but does it need to be done during your productive time? When you work hard on the things that create production for you, that create a sale for you, that create filling your pipeline with people who want to do business with you, that's productive time. So are you working hard on the right things is what I want to get across to you. That is the thing that matters most in any business, in any success in life, is are you working hard on the right things? That's even with relationships. Are you working hard on the right thing with your significant other? That's what really matters, is working on the right thing. Commitment. You have to be committed to that goal where you're not going to quit. Because everyone's excited about a goal. Oh yeah, I want to sell 10 houses a month. But as soon as the month goes by and you only sell 3 or 2 or 1, then you've lost your enthusiasm. Commitment is having that enthusiasm well after you've made that decision. You have to keep that enthusiasm, keep that excitement, keep pushing for that. If you didn't make it, why? Learn from the mistakes, add to what you're doing, increase what you're doing so you can have that more success. But commitment is huge. There's a story I read a story of a gentleman back in the gold rush days. His name was Harvey, his last name, and he bought a gold mine. He was excited about gold mining. He went and he got equipment to gold mine. He financed it. He found some gold, paid back the loan, kept digging, found some more gold, and the gold didn't run out. So, was he committed or not? Here's the question, and you can answer it when I finish this. He sold his equipment to a junk man who brought in a guy who was an expert at finding the veins, an environmentalist. He went home, made just a little money, and the junk man became a multi-millionaire. He had the biggest strike ever in history in the gold mine. And guess how far away they were? 3 feet. 3 feet. So a couple more chunks of the digger and he's there. But when you quit on your goal, you failed. You have not failed until you quit. So that's the thing that really you have to think about is in commitment. You have to actually be committed to it and stick with it. If it's not working, change the plan. Change what you're doing. Consistent and persistent. There's a great book by a guy named Darren Hardy, who was publisher of Success Magazine, called The Compound Effect. And when you do a little bit extra over time, you have huge results because of the compounding effect, like compound interest. It's really interesting because I'll do this in a form of like calls. How many of you make calls to your clients or to get clients, those kinds of things? So some of you do. Okay, all of you. You're thinking about it.
Oh, no, I'm waiting for them to call me. Then.
Oh, okay. I've been sitting here all day. Nobody's calling. Okay, I like that.
Doing something wrong.
Okay. Well, we need to talk after this is over. Okay. So, let's just say you make 10 calls a day. Let's just make this easy. I'm not a mathematician, so make this easy for me. You're doing 10 calls a day, and that's 5 days a week, so you're doing those 50 calls. That's so many a year. If you did 1 extra call a day, and let's just say you've got 1 customer or 1 client opportunity with 10 calls, and you made 1 call a day extra, that's 250 a year. That's 25 extra clients. Would that change your business? That's all we're talking about here. Is huge success is not doing a ton more than everybody else. It's being consistent and persistent and doing a little more over time to create more success. Everyone thinks they don't have enough time to do this, but you don't have enough time not to do this. It's just 1 more, 2 more calls or door knocks can make it happen. To me, being coachable and humble, the next thing on the list is really a big key for most people. And as a guy, I will say that I'm not going to put you in my category. A lot of people that I know that are males have ego problems. MJ, you're shaking your head. Are you agreeing with me? Okay. And not everyone has egos.
Sure.
But to be coachable and humble, you have to be humble to be coached. You're in an industry where people have great success and some people have average success. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Just like any other industry. The key to success is hearing what the successful people are doing and listening to that and being humble enough to accept it and implement it. That makes you more successful than anyone else, because if you're just going with your own ideas, you only have your own ideas. But if you have other people that you surround yourself with, Karen has a team. When you have other ideas coming in, you can figure out what might work for you. Your personality might not work with certain things, but you can figure it out by hearing other ideas. So that's important. The gentleman I mentioned earlier, Darren Hardy of Success Magazine, he started out his career as a real estate agent. And he was highly successful. He earned about $250,000 or $300,000 his first year in real estate, which is a pretty good start, I think. He went to a real estate conference where a gentleman was talking that was very successful. He bought the guy lunch so that he could ask him one question. What's the #1 key to your success? And he said, fail bigger and faster.
I love it.
That's it. Get more no's, get more hang-ups on the phone, get more doorknobs so they close the door on you, because the key is to fail bigger and faster. The more failures you have, the more no's you hear, the more yeses you're going to hear. That's how statistics work. So that's really a big key to your success, is to fail faster and bigger. Put your goals high. If you set your goal low and you reach it, okay. Good. Hopefully you're happy with that. But if you set your goal high and you're reaching for it and you hit it, it's a bigger deal for you, right? Because it's more money and everything else. And then personal growth. This is something that most people avoid. This conversation today is personal growth. This is personal development. This is helping you with your mindset, the change of your attitudes, those kinds of things. People that have great success do this on a daily basis. Would you agree that there's a little bit of negativity in the world?
Absolutely.
Was that like that could have been an understatement, right? So in order to create the positive attitude, the positive mental side of life, you have to be putting that in. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So you have to do this. You have to make this a priority. And you're all busy. How many of you drive in a car? Come on, you drive in a car. Okay. Okay, got a truck. Okay. How many of you drive a vehicle? That's a better question. So you're in your car at least 30 minutes a day, would you say? Maybe an hour. If you were listening to a book, a CD, or something that was going to help you mentally have more success for 30 minutes a day, in 2 years you'd have a PhD. I'm serious. So if you think you don't have enough time to do this, find time when it's not taking time from the other things that you want to do. But that to me is the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, is they don't develop themselves. The better you become of yourself, the better version of you become, the more people want to work with you, the more people that are attracted to you, the more people want to hang out with you. That brings you more referrals, that brings you more clients, that brings you more business. So that to me is a huge factor in success. Positive attitude. Do you all work in an office, or you work at your homes or offices? Anybody in an office?
Both.
Both, okay. So is there a person in your office that when you go to the break room, you actually leave when you're there?
Yes.
Come on. Is there anyone like that in your office? Come on, every office has one. I have one at my office. Nobody wants to be around a negative person. Your attitude is a choice. You can choose to be happy, you can choose to be sad, you can choose to be negative, you can choose to be positive. You have to take responsibility for that, but it is your choice to be that. And no one wants to be around that, so that's going to defer business. That's going to repel people from you if that's the person you are. It's kind of like Eeyore on Winnie the Pooh. Anybody ever watch Winnie the Pooh? We'll never make it. It'll never work. So you don't want to be that person. My wife and I, a few years back, sold our primary residence. Our kids are gone. We downsized. And a gentleman that sold our house, I won't name any names, but he would call. We would be together, and I didn't want to answer the phone. It was that bad. He was an excellent agent. He sold the house quickly, but I would never refer him to anybody else because of the attitude, the behavior. I didn't even want to be around the guy. The key was he sold our house so quickly I couldn't find another agent. So that was a positive side. But you don't want to be that person. You want to get the business. You want to get the referrals. If you're the person that they trust, they like, they respect, that you did a great job for them, you cared about them, you're going to be referred to them. They're going to be thinking about you all the time. When someone says, I'm selling a house, they're going to give them your name. That's the person you want to be. Focusing in your dominant thought. I talked about this briefly at the beginning. If you have a goal and it's written down and you look at it each day of the activities you need to do that day, that's going to be the dominant thought in your head. Then your mind and your subconscious will throw ideas at you that you can actually create the plan to accomplish the goal. But you have to focus on your plan and your vision or your goal for success, or you're not going to accomplish it. You have to have that as a thought. If it's just, oh, okay, if it happens, it happens, it won't happen. You have to have that as something you really want. You have to desire that. You have to really work hard for that. You have to have the conviction and the passion for it. You have to be inspired. What you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. If you're inspired, if you're excited about your goal, how many of you have a goal of, anybody have a goal of 10 houses a month? If you could sell 10 houses a month, would that be exciting?
Yes.
Would that be a big month?
Yeah.
So, if that was a goal, I'd be excited about it. So, the question is, how do we get there? Create the plan. Because there are people selling 10 houses a month. That agent I told you about that I didn't like, he does more than that. So, anyway.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
It is. I won't go into any more.
You really want to, though.
Actually, I really do, but I'm not gonna. Okay.
We'll stick around for 30 minutes after.
You have, okay. You have to have patience because success doesn't happen overnight. How many of you know, do any of you make New Year's resolutions? No? Yes? I know a lot of people, I go to my wife when I go to a fitness center, and on January 1st, it's packed.
Yeah.
I mean,
January,
packed.
February.
But in February, it's empty.
Yeah.
So in 30 days, if they didn't lose all the weight they wanted to lose, they're gone.
I know.
It takes more than 30 days to create success. What you can do is, in your business, in 30, 60, 90 days, you can create momentum. Once you create momentum, by making the phone calls and pushing really hard for those 30, 60, 90 days, you fill that pipeline, then you're just maintaining it, you're keeping it going. I go to the gym to maintain now, I don't go there to lose weight. So that's what business is as well. You can go there to maintain, you can create that momentum and then maintain it. You have to have discipline over time. There's I put a couple quotes up here that I'll read to you, but Jim Rohn is a mentor of mine. He's passed away, but I've read his books, I listened to his quotes, I listened to something this morning that I'll share with you, but he has a great thing about discipline. Every one of us will suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Yeah.
You're going to look back and go, oh, I wish I'd have done that. Wish I'd have bought that house. Wish I'd have done this. Wish I'd have done that. So you're either going to be disciplined with what you do with that plan and stick with it, or you're going to regret it later. And I tell you what, regret weighs way more than discipline. That's just maintenance over time. And then I ended with what I started in my philosophy with gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. There's a lot of people out there that don't have what we have. You're in here, Sarah made nice muffins, there's coffee. You know, to me, we have it made compared to most places. So if you think each morning, if you're grateful for something, whether it's being alive or having a client to work with, whatever it is, think, I'm grateful for this. Because your whole attitude for that day will change because you said that. So it's very important to keep that. Oh, I forgot to tell you this, but this is my hashtag, elevate your game. What I want people to do is to elevate your business, elevate your success, elevate your game. It's going to take sacrifice, everybody. It's going to take time, right? Time is your most precious asset because you will never get it back. You can make more money, but you can't get your time back. So it's going to take a sacrifice to get there. Be willing to do the things others aren't willing to do today so you can have what others won't have tomorrow. If you make that one more call a day, if you make that one more door knock, if you send out one more mailing, you're going to have more success than the other people in your office because they're not doing what you're doing. They're not doing as much as what you're doing. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. This is actually my quote. I put this in every book I write because this is about, you know, your decisions in life. Tomorrow hasn't been written yet, so decide today what tomorrow will be. You have a choice right now. If you don't like where you're going, change it. Make a decision today and then create a plan to get there. That is really how simple success is. Everyone thinks, oh, there's a secret to it. There's no secret. It's that simple. Create the plan, stick with the plan, change it when you need to, and be committed to it, and you'll get there in life. That's what successful people do. In fact, another Jim Rohn quote, I'll read this for those who didn't. Anyone need glasses? You can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction. With a decision that you want to, that you desire to. Make the decision, decide, and be committed to that decision. Okay. Choices and responsibilities. Now we're going to talk about those choices. How many of you have made choices in life you regret? Even those that didn't raise your hand, you're smiling. Okay, I like that. So, we are right where we're supposed to be based on the choices we've made. You can't blame your teachers. You can't blame real estate, you can't blame your clients, you can't blame other people for the choices we've made, because stuff happens to everybody. So you've made choices that put you right where you're supposed to be in life. The great thing is you can change that choice today to be in a different place tomorrow. I just mentioned that. If you want to be somewhere else tomorrow, set the goal, set the plan, and start working towards that on a daily basis, and you will get there. But what you have to do is you have to change the blueprint in your mind. You have to believe you can do it. You have to believe you deserve it. And I'm going to stop and talk about the deserve part. There's so many people. How many of you have heard of folks who have came from very poor backgrounds who won the lottery, right? You've seen those? In 5 years, 70% of those people are broke.
Yeah.
Professional athletes, both basketball and football, 60% of basketball players and 70% of football players after 5 years are broke. Because they didn't grow personally, they didn't grow mentally, they didn't feel like they deserved the money, so they squander it. They give it away, they spend it, they have entourages with them, they have all kinds of stuff. That's what happens to people when they don't personally develop themselves to the point where they can actually do it. You have to change the blueprint in your mind to be the person that deserves the money. You have to believe the vision, create a written plan, and then take action. That's the whole process of success. Those 3 things. So, for those of you who say you have a plan, at the end I'm going to hand out something that has an action plan in it, where you can use it as a template to fill in the gaps, but it will give you ideas of how to create a written plan where you have daily activities. 10 to 11, I'm making calls. 11 to 12, I'm doing this. If you do that, you'll be on track to create whatever success level you want in life, whether it's massive or whether it's above average. It doesn't matter. What your success level is success to you, so it doesn't matter what anyone else wants. If you don't want to be a 10% money earner or 3 or 5%, if that's not your goal reason for success, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Your level of success is your level of success. Be proud of it, but work to achieve it. In life, we can make excuses or money, but you can't do both. Most people have big butts. B-U-T-S. I'm not talking about J-Lo. I would do this, but I don't have time. I would do this, but I don't have the money. I would do this, but I don't want to drive over there to hear this guy talk. I would do this, but everyone has excuses, everyone has buts, and the buts will keep you from your success. Those are the killers of success. They drown you because you're always going to have an excuse if that's what you're going to be doing. So this should be not in your vocabulary. No buts in your vocabulary. Just do it. Just like Nike said, MJ. He's sponsored by Nike, right? Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
So just do it. Okay. I was listening to this morning, and for those of you who are taking notes, the gentleman's name is Jim Rohn, and if you go to YouTube, it's a 5-minute video. How many of you can spare 5 minutes? This is homework for you. So, it's called The Set of the Sale. It's about changing your mindset. The difference in destination for everyone in life is not what happens to you. It's what you do about what happens to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And in order to get where you want to go, sometimes you got to change the sail. You have to set the sail in a different direction to catch the wind. That's his analogy for that. You have to change how you're thinking. I'm sure that there are basic things that you do as real estate agents. But could you do it a little differently? Could you do it at a different time of day to be more effective? Could you do it a little bit different than someone else in order to create more success in that person? That's the idea here, is to change the set of your cell, is to change your mindset, your thinking, and how you think about things. It's an awesome 5-minute video that you can watch, and if you watch it and you like it, he has so many things about success. He is a success guru. He's the guy that trained Tony Robbins. He's the guy that trained Zig Ziglar. He's the guy that trained every personal development speaker of our day. He's their mentor. He has phenomenal things to say, and that's one of the people that I've learned from. It would be great for you to just listen to some of the things that he has to say. Would you agree that we all have ups and downs in life? Is life like a roller coaster? In 2008, it was real estate at the bottom of the roller coaster. Stayed there for a while. But you're in a good time right now, so you're coming up on the roller coaster of life. Are you going to capture your share of it? You're going to create a plan to do it. Are you going to be committed to it and make it happen? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself in order to create that. But everyone has stuff happen. You know, the same wind in that Jim Rohn thing, the same wind blows on everyone. Adversity, opportunity. The same wind is out there blowing on each and every one of us. The question is, who's capturing the wind? Who's capturing the success, the ideas, the opportunities that make that happen? The next thing, the do we have, most people live life like this. Do, have, and be. You do something to have something, and then you'll become a better person. I'm going to do this, I'm going to become wealthy, and then I'll be a better person.
Or then I'll be happy.
Then I'll be happy. True. That's another one. But this is actually how life works. You have to become that person first. You have to work on yourself first. You have to personally develop to the person others want to work with. As a leader, you have to develop yourself as a person others want to follow. They have to follow you voluntarily. Referrals come to you voluntarily. You have to be the person before you're going to do something with them, before you're going to have something. So that's just a switch in the philosophy of how things are supposed to work. That's how it actually works. You need to become that person that people like. Likable people get business. Would you agree? Except for the guy I work with.
Somebody likes it.
I like his wife. I like his wife. Okay. Great. This is an excellent quote from Washington Irving. Great minds have purpose. Others have wishes. Little minds are subdued by misfortunes, but great minds are rise above them. You got to rise above the adversity of life. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories here at the end about people who have overcome adversity, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Everyone has stuff happens. Most of you have probably lived a better life than the folks I'm going to talk about, yet they created massive success in their life for what they wanted to accomplish. So that's a great quote to remember, because you have to have a purpose for what you're doing. You have to have a plan. You have to have a goal. Here's some questions for thought. Can you read those without your glasses, or would you like me to read them?
No, I think fine.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay. Are you willing to take responsibility for the choices you've made in life? If you don't take responsibility for where you are today based on your own choices, you can't move forward. You can't. Because you're always going to be blaming someone else. Are you willing to take responsibility for where you are in life based on the choices you've made? Similar question. But this is just to get you to think about where you are, why you are there, and then own it. Then move forward. Just some more questions. These are some things that you don't have to write these down. I'm going to hand out a piece of paper if you want that has some of these things on it. So this one's a big one to me. What choice do you want to make today that will put you in a different place tomorrow? That's the main question of what we're going to do here today is think about where you want to be tomorrow. Do you want to sell 5 houses instead of 3? Do you want to sell 10 houses instead of 5? Where do you want to be tomorrow? Once you figure that out, if you take a little time to do it, then you can create the plan. Because the plan starts with the end in mind. You know, when they build a skyscraper, they have a plan already in place. The end, the actual architectural rendering looks just like the building's going to look, right? Then they have the plan step by step to get there. That's how you create your plan. I want to do this, and then you create the steps in order to accomplish that. This is what keeps people from that success. Plum disease. Anybody ever heard of it? Poor little old me disease? I put this up here because it kind of goes along with the big buts, but 300 world-class leaders, I did research. These are just a few of the names, but some of the biggest names in history. Some of the most successful people in history. 300, 350 of them. Well, 25 had severe disabilities, 50% were abused as children or lived in poverty. And yet they rose to the top of whatever they were accomplishing. They were the top of the top. So that means that every one of you can do the same thing. If your goal is to be a top real estate agent here in Arizona, that's possible, if you believe it and you plan it. If you want to be a great significant other for your spouse, that's possible, but you got to actually work at that as well. So everything is the same as far as what you have to do to get there. Do you feel you deserve your dream, your vision, your goal? How many of you think that how many of you would like to be able to retire and have a comfortable retirement? Do you feel you deserve it? Are you planning for it? Okay, good. Those are the questions that I want to hear. I like that. Those are the good answers. The yes, yes. Do you have doubts about yourself? Oh, there's a confident guy right there. I have no doubts. I like that. You shouldn't. Because you can do whatever you want in life. You just have to make it happen. You have to plan it. And if you have doubts about your abilities to accomplish your vision, goals, and dreams, don't doubt it. Because your mind will stop creating a plan to get it. So stop doubting it. Stop doubting yourself. These are the keys. I talked about them in the beginning. Believe in yourself. That brings self-confidence. How many of you know that when you walk in a room when you're self-confident, people like that? That's very attractive to other people. I don't believe in the law of attraction. I believe that you attract or you repel people. Plain and simple. I'm very simple in what I say. So plain and simple, you either attract people or you repel them. So your self-confidence is something that attracts people. They like to see someone who's confident. If you're not confident, then people think, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe she doesn't know what she's doing. So that's the key. Do you believe in your vision? You have to believe in the vision. You have to believe it 100%. Even if you don't get it today, maybe you'll get it tomorrow. So you have to believe that. Believe you can and will have the success, and then believe you deserve it. I've talked about all those things, but I want to keep emphasizing that because the success, in fact, Karen mentioned that she had read this, or she's reading this, that's what I talk about in this book. I talk about belief in yourself, self-confidence, all these things. They are so important. You have no idea what level of success they will create in your lives. And this is the statement that I believe is so true. The voice you believe will determine the future you experience. So whatever you're believing in here is what you're going to actually create out there. That is how success works. That's how life works. So what are you thinking about is the question. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it success? Is it not? I'm going to tell you a couple of real quick stories, and then I'll open up for questions if you guys have any, if you've written down some questions and stuff. But this young lady was born in the 40s. Her name is Wilma Rudolph. Anybody ever heard of her? Okay, right. If you notice here, when she was 4 years old, she was stricken with polio. That was back before we had the shots and stuff like we do today. And she lived in rural Mississippi, I believe, so they didn't have that kind of stuff. So at age 4, she was stricken with polio. She's all deformed, her leg and stuff. They put a brace on her. She had a dream and a belief that she would someday be in the Olympics as a sprinter. She believed it fully. Her mom believed it. They prayed about it. They believed that she would do that. At age 12, the brace came off. It's pretty good, right? 8 years in a race. That means no exercise. She's not that strong. 1956, she makes the Olympic team. Wins the bronze medal in the 4x100 relay. In 1960, she was voted as the Female Athlete of the Year. She won 3 gold medals in the 100, the 200, and the 4x100. The Olympics just ended, so I wanted to share this with you because it doesn't matter if it's a physical element, if you believe it's possible, or if it's business. It all works the same way. In fact, scientifically, I just read this study. A physician was doing knee surgeries. Everyone that he was doing a knee surgery with had the same issue with their knee. Similar, needed to be cleaned out, need to be fixed. Had 100 patients. 50 of them he did the surgery on. 50 of them he did not do the surgery on, but they thought they had the surgery. Every one of them had the same level of success with their knees, the same level of healing with their knee. Your mind is so powerful, you have no clue what it can do. If you use it, you can really create some huge success. I'm going to tell you one last story, and don't focus on the successes of the story. It's not to impress anyone, it's to impress on you overcoming adversity, changing plans, having a backup plan, those kinds of things in order for this person to have had success. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It's just, this is just a regular person like any of us. This individual grew up in a trailer, 8 by 35, in a, anybody ever been to San Diego? So Southeast San Diego has a ghetto area like Watts, smaller version. So this individual grew up in that area. It's Logan Heights, National City, a triangle of gangs, drugs, all kinds of issues there. Parents had a 6th grade education, his father. His mother was married at the age of 14, had some kids at 17 and 18, and went back to get a GED, so no education, correct? Okay. They had 2 kids, and the young man I'm talking about, he was born, this is where he grew up, is in this trailer. In fact, when he would walk to school, he would walk by the projects in the area, and they would call them trailer trash. So you can imagine the mindset and stuff. The great thing is his parents were really positive. They believed he could have success. They believed he could do whatever he wanted to do. They told him that. And if you haven't had someone support you like that, I will tell you the only one that has to believe is you. But he had a support system that actually believed in him as well. So as he's going to elementary school, most of the kids in this area, their dream was to get out and play professional sports. Would you agree? Yeah. I mean, they want to sing, they want to, there's kids that want to get out of the area, they want to get out with professional sports. It was his dream as well. So he plays street ball, there's no playgrounds, that kind of stuff. But in elementary school, as he's going to school, he's having to avoid drugs, gangs. His brother was beaten up many times because he was in middle school. That's where the drugs and the gangs start. That's where they recruit you, is in middle school. So he's beaten up many times. And as he's going through, his dream was to play a wide receiver in football. He's 5'2", he weighed 110 pounds. Ladies, if you don't know about football, you might know, but that's not very big.
No.
He's not playing high school football, not even college football, so he's not doing any of that stuff, right? That was his dream though. He'd watch the Texas Longhorns on TV, that was the team of the time, that was good, and he wanted to play for them. He'd watch it on TV. He would visualize himself doing that. That's what I'm telling you today, is to visualize your success. You have to visualize. Every professional athlete, every great athlete visualizes it before they do it. So that's what he visualized. Even though he didn't have the size, he visualized doing that. Luckily, they moved out of this area to an area just north of San Ysidro. Anybody know San Ysidro? Mm-hmm. It's on the Mexican border. It's right by Tijuana. So a little bit better area. The trailer park had barbed wire fence on the top. It was not to keep people in, it was to keep people out. Okay? So it wasn't as good an area, but I mean, it was a bad area, but it was still not a good area. The nice thing is that area had a recreation center where this kid could go and play. He'd go lift weights and he'd go try to get a little stronger, play basketball, those kinds of things. And as he progressed, he actually grew. In his 9th grade year, the middle school was 7th, 8th, and 9th. I know here it's freshman high school, right?
Sometimes it's that.
Yeah, okay. So in San Diego, 9th grade was still middle school. That's where they had sports started. So by the time this young man grew to, was in 9th grade, he grew from 5'4", because he grew a little bit, to 6'2".
Oh, wow.
Weighed about 170 pounds, so a little more weight, he could play college, maybe even pro, right? So the great thing is, he started to develop his skills. If he was throwing a ball, no matter what the ball was, he'd catch it. So he had great hands. In the 9th grade year, in football, he played wide receiver. It was only flag football. So he's never played organized sports. His mom and dad have no money. In fact, poverty level, they were half of that income.
Wow.
So never made any money. Couldn't play sports. They would collect cans and bottles to put on the table. It was, in fact, the kids would do that too to help collect more cans. So they learned work ethic from that, right? Okay. In 9th grade, he played wide receiver, leading receiver, leading touchdowns, played basketball, he was a leading rebounder and scorer, and then he ran track. He was the fastest kid in school. I think it was from running away from the gangs and stuff. Who knows? So he's the fastest kid in school. Going into his sophomore year, he's excited because that's the first year of organized tackle football. So he goes out with the team, he makes the team, but he's put on the defensive side, he's a safety. He's the guy that covers the wide receivers. So he's disappointed. How many of you have ever had disappointment in your life? You have a client that's interviewing you, you think, oh my gosh, this is a great client, and they go with someone else. You're disappointed. So this young man was disappointed, but he stayed committed. He kept working hard. In fact, after practice, he would run patterns with the quarterback because he needed someone to throw to. He would practice being a wide receiver, even though he wasn't a wide receiver. 8 games into the season, because he kept his positive attitude and work ethic, people do things for you. They're attracted to people like that. The coaches gave him a chance to play wide receiver. 4 games left. First game as a wide receiver, he caught 4 touchdowns for over 250 yards receiving. In any college or any pro, if you get 100 yards receiving, you're phenomenal. Larry Fitzgerald, when he gets a 100-yard game, they think, okay, that's a great game. So this young man had a monster game. Great deal. So he was the leading receiver just for 4 games. That's pretty good. So he's excited. His dream is coming to fruition. Played basketball, did well. Ran track, did well. Spring ball came around for football, and they were testing the athletes. They test athletes in the spring, if you don't know that. So he ran the 40-yard dash in 4.3 seconds. That's world-class speed today. This was in 1975. So he had a 42-inch vertical. He could hit his head on a 10-foot rim. So that's how high he could jump. So as a wide receiver, those 2 attributes alone were pro level. So now he's thinking, okay, I got this. You know, stay healthy, make it through here, I'll get college and then pro. Comes to his between the sophomore and junior year, they played summer league basketball. So he played on the team to stay in shape, that kind of stuff. Last game of the season, he felt like his back was out. Any of you go to a chiropractor?
Yeah.
Back feels out, you know it's out, right? So he felt his back was out. So a buddy of his said, put your arms across your chest and I'll crack your back. So he did, and they heard a pop. Played the game. After the game, went to the hospital. So the next day, the doctor came in after the MRIs. He'd broken his neck.
Oh my gosh.
So, a little disappointed, right? Doctor said, you never play football again. Pretty big, right? So that's a change of life right there. So do you quit? Or do you stay committed? Do you keep working? He was a good basketball player, but never focused on it. So his junior year, he started focusing on basketball. Parents had no money, so his dad was working at a construction site, put a 14-foot wooden pole in a dirt field with a backboard. He played every day, practiced every day. Just shot hundreds of shots, thousands of shots. Junior year came, played, did really, really well. He was named to Prep Athlete magazine as one of the top 25 kids in California to watch. It's not bad, it's a big state, a lot of kids. Played this next year, did well, he got 8 scholarship offers to play basketball. Here's the interesting thing. Football players in high school, 6.5% of them get a college NC2A scholarship to play football. Only 3% get a basketball scholarship. So he actually made the top 97, he was the top 3% of all all high school athletes. It's not bad. He made a choice to go to school. He had 8 scholarships to places like Pepperdine, San Diego State, just different places like that. He chose a small school in Northern California. Everybody talks about choices. No one covered him. No pro scouts went there. So he made a bad choice. He played okay. He wasn't great. He played okay. But he graduated from college because his parents told him couldn't play sports unless you cared to be average. So his goal was to play professional sports or to have success in business. He was not recruited to the pros out of college. So he went into business. Hired by one of the largest consumer products companies in the world. Promoted several times in a 15-year career because of the attitude, because of the work ethic, because of the belief in himself, because of people being attracted to him because of who he became with all the work he did. That's what created the successes. After 15 years, he went into another business. He went back and got a master's degree in business. So remember, parents, 6th grade, GED. So he gets a master's degree so that he can continue. He wants to get to the pinnacle of success. A pro athlete is the top 1% of all athletes. So he gets hired as a C-level executive for a company, national sales company. That's the top 1% of business. So no matter what you try, whether it's athletics or business or real estate, it doesn't matter. When you apply the principles that I shared with you today, you stay committed, you stay persistent, you stay consistent, you can create anything you want. Actually, after he ran the company, he went into a mortgage industry and met Karen. I tell that story in third person because it's hard for me to talk about myself. It actually is a little emotional.
Yeah.
So, but the key is that you can have success in life. You can have whatever you want in life. It does not matter.
And no excuses.
I came from a ghetto, and I've had success. You can have whatever success you want. I'm sure that you started out in a better place than me. Would you agree, most of you? So, the question is, are you going to do what it takes to get where you want to go? That's the question.